Good, beautiful morning. The sun is shining, and my darling friend Claire Houlihan is with us. How are you doing? You've got the big cheesy shit-eating grin as well.
Yeah, full of the joys of autumn.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
We've had amazing weather this week. I've had a couple of walks and foraging courses, so it's been an absolute joy to be outside and enjoying the moment. I think at this time of year it's easy to kind of slip into like, oh, it's getting dark and winter's coming and oh, it's all really terrible, and actually what I've learned over the years of observing the seasons is just to really go with it and enjoy what each season has to offer, and kind of look forward to winter as well, so that's what I'm at this week.
The sun helps, and the light just now is just crazy beautiful.
Yeah, there's a real quality of light in Scotland for every season, and it completely changes as you move through the wheel of the year. And I think autumnal light on the leaves that are changing colours and just that lower light in the sky, it's a particularly beautiful experience.
It certainly is. I have to say I had a little bit of envy at your event, because I was at that. It was probably a couple of years ago now, so I know how incredible that it is.
That was for the White House foraging event.
Yes.
Well, that was a lovely day. We were quite lucky as well. It didn't rain too much that day.
Is that right?
Yeah,
but it did actually rain. What about the midges?
Yeah,
because no, give me the rain over the midges.
Yeah. So we're at that time of year where the midges have started to die back. Really, we've had quite a windy from kind of the middle of August, which also keeps them at bay. So it's been a great end to the summer, to be honest, because we've not had to deal with the midges, and the weather's been not too bad.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going to put my phone on. I've had a very hectic day. That's why I keep making wee mistakes. But my phone is on making a noise, and I don't normally ever have it like that, but it's so annoying that it keeps pinging. So we've got a lot of really exciting things to talk about, because it's your first ever festival.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is incredible. And also we've got our winter wellness retreat coming up at the end of October. So two incredible events that I'm excited for you to have your first festival, to be able to meet everybody, and for everybody to be able to meet you, and for the two of us to be in the same place together, which doesn't really happen that often. So it's we wrote the book. The festivals are there to spread the information, but to have you there is a real gift. So I'm very, very excited. So if you don't have your tickets yet for Strontian, please get your ticket. It's a phenomenal event, and it works out at like £30 a day to be with all these incredible teachers and healers and leaders. Please, I'm going to put the link into the event. Good morning, Sylvia. And we really, really hope you can get there. If you can't get to the festival, then please come and join us for the winter wellness retreat at the end of October. Now, before we talk a little bit more about the events, let's just talk about what is Mother Earth giving us right now that we need and we can use.
Yeah, I mean, we're still obviously in that kind of autumnal abundance period of time at the moment. So if you have a copy of the book, I'll just do my jazz hands thing here. Da-da-da! You can look up. I would be looking kind of, I always say this when we talk about the book, I usually would be looking at the month before, the month we're in, and the month after, because there's such crossover between those seasonal shifts. So in the October section in the book, I talk about brambles, which of course have been out for quite a while now. So October is kind of your last chance to start getting bramble foraging.
Have you ever seen such an incredible? I don't think in my memory, maybe when I was a wee kid, but I wouldn't have been paying as. It's just been everywhere you go. These big fat brambles, like vitamin C.
it's been an amazing year for soft fruit and kind of fruits in general. I think with the kind of warm spring that we had, and then, you know, that particularly on the West Coast, that dry, enough dry weather to ripen the fruits, but enough rain to make them really plump and juicy. So that's the perfect combination for your soft fruit. So really, really good year this year for all your fruits. So yeah, still harvesting brambles in abundance. If you're lucky enough to have feral apple trees or an orchard near you, or an apple tree in your garden or local community garden or park, then obviously that bramble and apple combination is a great one. So yeah, thinking about we talked about this last time, thinking about preserving gluts. So freezing your brambles, making sauces with them, jams, jellies. What I tend to do is freeze them into small portions, and then you've got, you know, fruit that'll kind of last you a wee bit over the winter. Obviously, you know, when we're preserving fruits, we do tend to kind of go for like a lot of sugary things. So trying to find alternatives to sugar preservation, like using vinegars or honey, or, you know, maple syrup and things like that as well. But I tend to find freezing them, if you've got enough freezer space, is quite a good way forward. You can also make fruit leathers with them. And I think actually maybe one of the first courses that you ever did with me, we made fruit leathers back in about 1 million years ago. We actually made bramble fruit leathers. I remember it. So, and that's really, really easy if you've got a dehydrator. You can also make them using a cool oven with the door open. So the kind of process for that is just pureeing your fruit. You can sieve the seeds out if you want, if you prefer a texture that doesn't have seeds in it, or you can leave them in if you want the goodness that comes from the seeds, all those good oils and protein. And then you're literally just spreading it out on baking paper or on a silicone tray, and then you know, putting it into your dehydrator at a fairly high temperature for a dehydrator, but it would be the lowest setting that you can possibly have on your oven. So, you know, 60 to kind of 80 degrees really, and that's a great way of preserving fruits for over the winter that doesn't involve using sugar. So that's a great way to use your brambles. We're moving into the time of year where it's time to harvest our root medicine as well. So if you've got some dandelions that you feel like you want to dig out of your lawn, or a neighbour's got some dandelions that they want to get rid of, great time to start thinking about root harvest. So you've got your dandelion root, your burdock root, all of the root medicines that are so kind of deeply nourishing and help to sustain us over winter. So many of our root medicines contain a special type of polysaccharide, so long chain sugars, which help to feed the good bacteria in our guts. So they actually help to, and you know, the bacteria in our guts communicates directly with immune cells through specialized patches of tissue on the lining of the gut wall. So by feeding the good bacteria, you're actually having a direct impact on your immune system health. So including wild root medicine into your day-to-day protocols is a really good way of just feeding those good bacteria, making sure your gut health is tip-top, and having a knock-on effect on your immune system health as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because Barbara O'Neill's just been in Scotland and everybody's like, "You're not going?" I was like, "I've got Claire." We've got our own Scottish versions. I mean, she's amazing, but you know, it's just so interesting, isn't it? It's that whole branding thing.
Absolutely.
Have you ever heard this? So you can come to Strontian and meet Claire for £99. It is such an absolute bargain. It's honestly a bargain. And when my friend was doing a documentary on the Tarbert one, he was like, "I can't believe you got all this for, like, you go to one sound healing course or one yoga class, you're going to pay at least 30 for that, for two things. And you're going to get all this incredible, and the network and the community, you know, it was, we've just done Aberfeldy and Nairn. And it was so interesting because we've never been in these areas before. So that's quite stressful for me, and as stressed as I can get, because obviously you're just like, well, you just can only do what you can do. And
Mm.
the obviously we had a whole crowd of new people that were just super, super excited. And it was so nice to see that enthusiasm, because sometimes I can get bogged down on trying to sell tickets, trying to encourage people,
Absolutely.
trying to
Yeah.
inspire people, and you actually forget the
Why you're doing it.
joy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you get there and you're like, why did I complain about this? It's just such an incredible event and value for money. And in terms, what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to create a festivals board so that I can get people on to kind of help me with the minutiae. I can get leaders and healers together and create a program like that. That's not an issue. It's then all the stuff that you need to do around it that you and I hate, but I'm better at it than you. You're rubbish, and I'm just slightly rubbish. But it's like all these jobs. My brother was like that. You work your way to a place, and then you end up not doing the things that you love because
Absolutely.
so, and that's what's incredible about you. And also for people that are coming to the Morven Peninsula, the date's on the event there, Sylvia. If you just click on the event, you'll see all the information. The Morven Peninsula, my God. It's so, like, I mean, I only really explored a little bit of it with you in the spring.
Mm.
I was blown away. Fair enough, it was beautiful weather, but there's something about when your body feels that natural, untouched nature. Well,
Yeah.
I felt that you're soaked in that all the time, and at our retreat when you're coming over the 4 days, because we have a pretty packed program to give you all these incredible tools and all the information to go home with. There's not a lot of time to explore Morven.
Yeah.
So I was saying to people at the festival, take the day. I need to actually look at the ferry times as well. Will they be changed in October? Or
The Corn Ferry.
uh-huh.
No, the Corn Ferry's year round. First ferry's about 6:30 in the morning. Last ferry's 9, 9:30 at night. So, and
Right,
they
brilliant.
run pretty much every half hour. So you don't need to worry about rushing for ferries and things like
Uh-huh.
that. They're pretty
Easy.
regular and reliable. The only thing you need to worry about is if there's a very strong southerly gale. But I think
Uh-huh.
it's a pretty reliable service. It rarely goes off because of the weather.
Uh-huh.
So
And you
yeah,
can drive if push came to shove.
you're never going to be
So
stuck. You
yeah.
can take, and
Uh-huh.
actually, the drive around the loch, it does take a bit of time, but it's a really incredibly beautiful drive. So if you do have to drive around, it's actually worth it just for the
I
scenery,
know.
the beauty.
I
So
did that the last time I stayed with you because I left, early o'clock in the morning, and I was like, "Oh, you're too early for the ferry." But I just drove down the other side of the loch, and I've never seen that view of Fort William. I
yeah,
can't believe I'm discovering all these incredible parts of Scotland at freaking 65. It's like, what? It's
amazing
the
that you never
10th
got
of, yeah, thanks, Lauren. That's great. The 10th, 11th, and 12th of October. So, yeah, so the Morven Peninsula is so well worth it. What was that place? Well, Harrickle as well, gorgeous. But what was that beach place we went to?
So usually on the retreat we'll go to some beaches and things, or some woodlands. So there's a beach on the shores of Loch Arianis, which is big beautiful sandy beach over a inland freshwater loch, and there's ancient oak woodlands surrounding it, and beautiful scenery over the hills. And yeah, so we'll usually try and incorporate that into part of the retreat as well, just to really get out there and get into the depths of nature.
And then we've got that little forest and white sandy beach, literally just like 5-minute walk from the base camp, which is also incredible. Right,
Yeah.
so sorry I stopped you there. Let's go on about the roots again, what people can be thinking about in terms of medicine making, which obviously you teach on the retreat.
Yeah. So yeah, lots of root harvesting about at the moment. So the one thing that I didn't mention there was, harvesting roots in terms of where to harvest them from. So it is illegal to uproot a plant in the wild. So for my root medicine, I tend to grow all the roots that I need rather than, you know, going out and digging things up from the wild. So that's one thing to bear in mind when you're if you're foraging. Just stick to the leaves, berries and fruits. But if you're wanting to harvest roots, then you're best to grow them, or to ask somebody else who wants their dandelions removed. So yeah, that's one thing to remember about. But yeah, things like, obviously, you know, we talk about valerian in the book as well. It's usually the root of that that's used. That's a really kind of helpful herb for calming the nervous system. It's useful for anxiety. It's helpful for sleep, and also for high blood pressure and muscle spasms and things like that too. So, you know, we're moving into that time of year where it's you know, you can start processing and harvesting that. There's also, at this time of year, we'll get a kind of second flush of some of the greens as well. So things like nettles, you might have noticed they've finished doing their growth, they've finished going to seed, and there's patches where there's, you know, fresh nettle growth popping up. So you can actually get a little kind of cheeky second harvest of nettles at this time of year as well.
On the nettles.
On the nettles, should have worn so yeah, so you'll get a second growth of that. There's also quite a lot of things like sorrel around at the moment. So second growth, because you'll get the first flush in the springtime. We're on to that second kind of autumnal flush now that it's finished flowering and it's gone to seed, and we're actually getting that second growth of fresh leaf. So if you have a little look, you know, things like yarrow as well, you'll get some fresh leaf growth as well. So yeah, there's quite a lot. You know, there's this time of year, I would say, is like the abundance for foraging. Obviously mushrooms too at this time of year. You know, this is kind of when you get the most, September, I would say, you get the most diversity in species. Obviously certain mushrooms grow in different seasons, but you will get much more of a kind of crossover at this time of year, and you'll start to see a lot of the medicinal mushrooms coming out now, because you know, September and moving into winter, that's quite a good time to look for your medicinals, like turkey tail, like birch polypore. So and if you look at the November section in the book, that does cover our medicinal mushrooms as well. So yeah, it's really the season of abundance. And yeah, you know, like Lilia said, we'll be focusing on that at the winter wellness retreat. You know, we'll be talking about medicinal mushrooms. We'll be talking about ways that you can support your immune system health moving into winter, how you can keep yourself as well as possible over those colder, darker months when your health might be at challenged.
Yeah, absolutely. I know there's a lot of people sick right now. I saw it kind of all over Facebook after Tarbert Music Festival. There seems to be a bug going around. And so I think, you know, our big message right now has been, we're looking at this place in near Bridge of Weir as a healing and education centre. And, you know, I'm saying we need to teach people, from my perspective, around what the body is, an ecosystem, an energy system, and then we need to teach people how to fish rather than just keep giving them the fish, which is kind of the old model of like, I give you something and you get better. It's like, well, no, teach me how to do this for myself. I've been talking to Sally Simmers from the bone therapy. She can do a day course in helping people how to use bone for pain. And, you know, and obviously on our retreat, it's 4 days. For people that have never met Claire before, this woman is the good life, lives off the land, on the land. If the Hunger Games come on, at me and my caravan, off the Loch Allen. I shouldn't really say that. You'll be inundated with people.
Well, I think there's already a long list of people who I'll be having to build myself a wall.
Yeah, well, as I used to say to Stuart sitting in Helen or another one, I'm like, have you got a gun? He's like, we'll share. And I'm like, well, at least he's away up the glen. It might be, and you're quite remote as well, a wee bit more challenging. But my point is, with the medicine, you're so in tune with the plants and that kind of much, much deeper and wider understanding of the elemental, spiritual, whatever word is the best, I'm not sure. And one of the exercises that you teach people how to do is how to tune into that intelligence. And that blew me away as we talk about the very first time you did a course at the healing farm, remember?
Yeah,
And we had
Vermont. Yeah.
two men there, one who'd just come out of the army, he was quite high up in the army, and another man who was a French GP. And I was like, "Oh, they're actually meditating on plants," and it was incredible to watch, And I think, that was what 5, 6 years ago. That was quite new to me that I had that we as humans, because we've all got it, that ability to tune in, and that so they're starting to realise that the intelligence within us, within the plants, and that trust, I suppose. So that's what we're really focusing in on now, is how it's education and inspiration and support. And we have this community, this our own basic social media platform that we can put people together to brainstorm ideas, to talk about what worked for you, which might not work for me, but to really get people proactive about this stuff. And that's the brilliant thing about the festivals, but particularly in our 4-day retreat, where you just come and you are immersed in Scotland's wild medicine. As somebody said, bringing the book to life, and learning as we do. You and I talk about this often. I learn more from you, and you learn more from me as I've gone into the 528 thing, and about heart coherence, and and also when it comes, we did a really interesting talk last night on cancer treatment choices, and we had 4 women that have all got completely different experience, have made completely different choices, having a very respectful conversation around what and why they chose the route that they've chosen, and how there's support if you go one way and no support if you go another way, and how we can change that. And ultimately it all comes back to the same thing. We need the community, and we need to have the conversations around what works. And I know big tuning in, is this right for me? And what might be right for you might not be right for somebody else. So I think that's a really, really key part of what you teach on our retreats. And again, it's the kind of immersion around people that are really genuinely interested in this. No trolls, nobody saying that's a lot of shite, which we got in the community the other day. I was just like, oh God, why are you in this group? So it's beautiful to be with people that are genuinely looking to heal their own body from the inside out, with products and plants and medicines that are only ever going to support the body and not cause problems further down the line. And obviously there's a level of skill and expertise needed for that, but there are basic things that we can all learn to do. And I think particularly for kids, I don't know if you saw, you probably didn't, what they're talking about Tylenol, for spiking fevers, and that may be one of the contributing factors to, neurological issues in babies and pregnant women, which has really been known, I thought, for a long time. But there's backlash of people wanting to say, no, it's not, it's safe. But if you're just in that way, well, why would I take a chance? What other things can I do that are not going to cause these issues? I mean, it's up to us, because we're not going to get spoon-fed this stuff from the government, because foraging is free. There's no money to be made from this. We genuinely just want people to have the information. It's as simple as that. So and now tell us what you're doing. So so we've got the Winter Wellness Retreat, which is at the end of October. I think it starts on the 31st of October, and I've put the link in there. You can check the website, event healscotland.com/events, for all our events. But let's talk about Strontian and what you're going to be doing there.
So we're going to be at the Ariandel Centre, which is, again, part of the Soonart Ancient Oakwoods. So it's a really beautiful spot for walking and foraging. So we're going to be doing a medicinal herb walk there, looking at all the plants that you can use for food and for medicine, with a particular focus on this time of year. So we're going to be wandering through the beautiful Oakwoods telling stories, sharing experience, looking at different recipes that you can use to process the plants and medicine that we find. So yeah, it's going to be amazing, and yeah, very much looking forward to collaborating with other people as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we started doing the retreats at Barmolach, it used to blow me away that we've been out there for 2 hours and we've walked about 10 meters.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
How could I not have known the wealth of medicines that are popping up going, eat me? You know,
Yeah.
it's like, it's crazy exciting how much that nature gives us that we just had no idea about. And that's why, obviously, when I met you at first, and I was like right in the front row, like, totally hogging the class, going, what about this? What? You know, because I was always into like nutrition and exercise. And then I realized there's a whole world in that forest that I knew nothing about medicinally. It is so exciting. And it's coming out now. I did some forest bathing with Hugh. Do you know Hugh, Asher?
Yeah, not well, but yeah, obviously just up the road. So yeah.
Yes, he's over in Aberdeen now, but he is. I did his forest bathing with him, and oh wow, it was just beautiful. And you know, there's no rocket science in there, and Hugh will admit that as well. But when you're with a guide, you actually spend the time with
Absolutely.
the smells, with the sounds. And that's the big difference, isn't it? Because you can put as much information as you want on any of your socials, and people read it and then don't do it. So that's what's great about the basically the retreat and the festival, is that you're giving yourself these 3 days. And that's what I loved. And all the presenters said how great they feel at the end of it, because once you've done your hour and a half, whatever it is you're doing, you're then free to enjoy everybody else's offerings, which is, and then all these collaborations come out of it, because they fit together. We all want the same thing, which is to get this phenomenal information out to our brothers and sisters all over the land. So, is there anything else you'd like to add? Re Scotland's Wild Medicine. If you don't have people, you can get it on Claire's website.
So that Lilia doesn't have to post it. Post office every day, posting out medicines for my patients. So yeah, please do order it from me. I've got quite a lot of them to sell.
That's a whole other story.
yeah, absolutely.
Let me get your website on this.
Website's West Highland Herbal. I'm also West Highland Herbal on Facebook and Instagram, even though I don't really like posting on there, because then I have to look at social media. Sorry guys, but it's not my favourite. I'd rather be looking at mushrooms in the woods than it's not my preferred way to spend my time. But yeah, so you can find me on there, and just very much looking forward to welcoming people to the beautiful Morvern Peninsula. Really hoping that some of you will come and join us on the winter wellness retreat, and yeah, looking forward to seeing some of you in Struntian as well.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, exciting times. And yeah, we could stay on here talking about this stuff forever, but I think that's a great overview of what's available in terms of Scotland's wild medicine over the next few months. Sylvia saying you have a sale from me. Thank you, Sylvia, for your kind words. So yeah, you know the deal, guys. Please help us by sharing, liking, commenting, feeding back. We need your points of view. What do you need? You know, if you've got any health issues, Claire can help you online and post your medicines out to you. Obviously, I'm not doing anything one-to-one at the moment. I'm putting dates in probably over the next week, but I'm happy to guide you, lead you anywhere you need to go. Come and join us at the festival. Come and join us for the 4 days at the Winter Wellness Retreat. You will absolutely love it. And the food that we eat. I'm excited already. We also have our friend Claire Cameron, who's a massage therapist. She's also a local farmer. It's all organic meat straight from her farm. We have the best quality for your body. And food is medicine, as the big man Hippocrates said himself. So on that note, yeah, we're happy to talk if you want any more information. healscotland.com/events. All the events are up there. If there's anything you need to know, you can DM or message privately and we will help you any way we can. Okay, happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday. Enjoy the autumnal sunshine.
Yes, awesome. Ciao now.